Before we start, we want to share a quick content note. This podcast includes discussions of suicide, abuse, and other emotionally heavy topics. While these stories are told thoughtfully and with care, they may be difficult for some listeners. Please listen in whatever way feels safest for you and take breaks if you need. Listener discretion is advised. Hey everyone, I just wanted to take a moment to explain how the sessions are going to be moving forward from here. You've already heard phases 1 and 2 of the EMDR 8-phase protocol. In today's episode, all participants are going to be moving through phases 3 through 7 of the protocol for the first time. This is where active trauma processing begins. I'm going to try to attempt to explain this as simply as I can, but if it all feels too wordy or complicated, please feel free to Google the EMDR 8-phase protocol or just look it up on YouTube. As I explained in the intro of episode 1, the participants have already been walked through the first and second phase of the 8-phase EMDR protocol. Phase 3 is called the assessment phase. This is where we identify the target or what's bothering them, along with the emotions, the beliefs, and body sensations that are happening as a result of that disturbing memory or target. Phase 4 is the desensitization phase. This is where the active eye movements or bilateral stimulation are used to reduce the distress around that target or memory. Phase 5 is the installation phase, where we connect a positive belief to that memory once it's no longer disturbing. Phase 6 is the body scan phase, where the body is checked for any remaining tension or sensations related to the memory or the target. And phase 7 is the closure phase, which is essentially a guided meditation or grounding exercise to ensure that the person is leaving their session in a regulated or calm state, which I've decided to leave out of the recordings. Lastly, phase 8 is the reevaluation phase, which always happens in the following session to see how the person is feeling about whatever was processed the previous week. If the memory or target is still distressing, we jump back in during the following session and move through phases 3 through 7 again until the memory or target is as close to neutral as possible. During processing, I use an internet-based program that creates bilateral stimulation through eye movements. In simple terms, a dot appears on the participant's screen and moves back and forth from left to right for the person to watch. The dot moves at a rapid yet comfortable pace, usually between 20 to 25 times, which is called a set. At the start, I have the person begin at a specific place in the target, which can be a memory, a theme, a person, or a belief that's bothering them. The dot then begins moving, and during that time, we are not speaking. After the dot is done moving, you'll hear me ask questions like, "What came up?" or "What did you get?" The person then shares whatever came up for them, and most of the time, you'll hear me respond with, "Go with that," before starting another set of eye movements. For listening purposes, you'll hear a brief moment of silence between me saying "go with that" and "what came up." This will represent the time that the patient is spending watching the dot on their screen while they're in active processing. All right, guys, did you catch all that? Probably not, and that's completely fine. Just enjoy the episode and you'll get the hang of it, I promise. My name is Molly Orchard, and this is The Fabric of Being. Session 3. Danny.
Hey,
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How's your week been?
It's been good. It's been yeah, pretty normal.
Okay, normal's good. How are you feeling about your first EMDR session today?
Good. Good. I'm really excited. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm excited too. Well, if you don't have any major updates for me, we're just going to jump in.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what I'm going to do, and it's going to be like this every session, I'm going to send you the link to what we call the bilaterals. And I'm going to message that to you in our chat here. So, what is going to happen is I'm going to explain to you how EMDR works and how the bilaterals work, and then
Okay.
we're going to get into it.
Okay.
What's going to happen when you're processing is we're going to have that be full screen, and we want the dot to move as quickly as possible across the screen without it hurting your eyes.
Okay.
So we're going to test to make sure we have the right speed for you. So, tell me, is this comfortable for you?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So now you can come back to screen with me. We just wanted to establish the speed. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions.
Okay.
And when the dot moves back and forth, it's
Mhm.
called the bilaterals. It's bilateral stimulation, right, left.
Okay.
Okay.
And you want me to just move my eyes, not my head?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
When we're processing, what happens is that I'm going to have you start at a place and you're going to hear me say often, go with that and what came up. A lot of times, I'm not actually saying much to you. We're not speaking very much because your brain is doing most of the work.
Okay.
So we may start at a memory and I'm going to say, okay, start here. The bilaterals are going to have a set, which is when they start and when they stop, which is controlled by me.
Okay.
When the bilaterals stop, I'm going to ask you what came up. And you give me a brief rundown of what came up during that set.
Okay.
An example I like to give is we could be working on a memory from your childhood and you do one set and I say what came up and you say, I don't know, for some reason I'm at Subway eating a tuna sandwich.
Okay.
And I'll say, great, go with that. And you just pick up right where you left off at Subway with the tuna sandwich.
Okay.
Then I'm going to stop the set again, ask you what came up. Usually, most of the time, it's, oh, actually, I remember the day this memory happened, I had just had a tuna sandwich.
Okay. Got it. It'll
You
make
go with it.
sense.
That's just how
Okay.
the brain works. It's kind of a silly little guy. So, we're going to start today by figuring out with your treatment plan. We are going to pick a memory that we want to work on. Is there anything in particular that comes to mind right off the bat?
Not like any of the ones we talked about anymore, you know?
Yeah.
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 I think
Okay.
like really like that one's like the worst one or anything.
Got it. Okay. So then I'm going to look at your treatment plan here and I'm going to get a heavy hitting one. My thought was we're working on your first treatment goal, which is I want to feel worthy and good enough in my daily life. I'm between two things here.
Okay.
One is processing your dad as a
Yeah.
person, or this mowing the lawn memory from when you were 12 years old.
Maybe mowing the lawn.
Cool. Sounds good. So you were around 12 years old, is what you said, right?
Yeah.
When you think about that memory, what image comes up for you? What do you see?
I guess I like see our kitchen or like the way I sat at the table. I looked into the kitchen.
So, the point of view of where you were sitting.
Yeah.
When I asked you about this memory last week, you said that the negative belief you have about yourself is that it wasn't possible for you to do anything right.
Yeah.
Does that still fit?
Yeah.
What would you prefer to believe about yourself instead?
That I was like capable of like making a decision, both in that like, yeah, I was able to mow the lawn the way he wanted, but I had like used reasoning to be like, my sister wants to do it. I'll do
Yeah.
the front. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I wasn't just like being like a kid or like thoughtless, that I like
Right.
had a system in place and I was like, it was a valid system.
Okay. So, you want to believe that you were capable
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to believe that about yourself then?
Yeah.
Like, do you believe you were capable as a child when you think about this memory? Or are you like, oh, maybe he was onto something?
I think he was maybe on like I think that I can like tell myself, but when I like think about when I like feel that memory, I think like oh I was the problem, you know.
Okay. Okay. So when you think about that memory and that positive statement, I was capable. 1 to 7, 1 is totally false, 7 is totally true. How true does it feel to you?
That I was capable.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like a 3, probably a
Okay.
3. Yeah.
Okay. And last week when you rated this, you gave it a 9. When I said 0 to 10, how much does it bother you? Does that
Yeah.
still feel right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
What
feel like talking
emotion
about it, I was like the more I thought about it, the more I was like, "It's weird how much I've thought about that," you know?
Totally. Yeah. Isn't it interesting how when you start to bring up stuff, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, wait, that bothers me so much more than I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. What emotion is coming up that keeps it at a 9 for you when you think of this memory?
Yeah, just feeling stupid. Yeah,
Hmm.
like, it's like it's a very frustrating feeling.
Yeah. So feeling stupid, frustration.
Yeah, frustration with that, like
Okay.
yeah, like I kinda mistrust myself.
Hmm.
Like, I'll think about it and then I'll be like, outsider's perspective is like, "No, you were fine, you were 12." But then I'm like, I kinda mistrust that. I'm like, "No, maybe I was being an idiot," like, and that confusion is also frustrating.
Where do you feel it in your body when we talk about this memory?
Like, right above my belly button.
Okay. Okay. So open up that link that I sent you.
Okay.
We're going to jump right in. So, at any point, if this is feeling too overwhelming for you, you can say stop or hold up your hand.
Okay.
So, what I want you to do is I want you to put yourself back in that chair in your upbringing, seeing the kitchen, the point of view where you were sitting around this memory, this negative belief like it wasn't possible for you to do anything right. And I'm just going to have you start there as you watch the dot. What's coming up?
I'm, like, really, look like, it really made me think about my dog because he would sort of sit, like, when he would sit sort of, like, in between the dining room and the kitchen in this area, and I could, like, sort of see him.
Play out the scene, just keep going with that. What'd you notice?
I was, like, really just, like, looking around the room, and it made me, think about these candles that I totally forgot about that we had on on the cupboards in the kitchen that were, like, a fork and a knife. I was just sort of, like, staring at those, kind of, like, trying to avoid, like, looking at anybody else at the table because 'cause I'm kinda struggling to, like, picture, my family.
Just keep going with that. You're doing this perfectly. What'd you notice?
I've, like, really started to feel like a kid.
Yeah.
Um,
Like how old?
like, about that, like, I don't know if 12, like, I don't know if it was exactly that time, but, like, a similar time where I was old enough to, like, feel like I was having, like, complex thoughts, but still feeling, like, uncomfortable, yeah, like, middle school, eh,
Mm-hmm.
um, energy kind of, like, where I was just, like, not even really able to name what I was feeling, but just, like, feeling kind of uncomfortable.
Okay. I want you to just keep going with this. You're doing great. What's coming up?
Now I'm just, like I just keep, like, seeing my dog and sort of, like, looking over the table and, like, seeing the carpet and, like, seeing him look back at me, and I just kinda, like every time I keep trying to, like, see the other people, I just sort of, like, look away, trying to, like, yeah, avoid them.
So, what I want you to do is again, I want you to isolate this memory of when you were supposed to mow the lawn and your sister said she wanted to try it and you let her. Later that evening, you were sitting at the window and your dad said, "Are you blind or are you the R word?" And then you told him that it was your sister that did it and your dad celebrated her doing it. Just play that out on this next set. Start there. What came up?
I think for the first time, I thought about, like, the first part of the memory of, like, my sister asking me and doing that with her. Like, I remember being, like, in the garage with her and, like, showing her how the mower worked, and then the, that it was a really good I thought it was, like, a good thing, It was like, "Oh, cool, she wants to do this thing," and it did feel good to, like, show her how to do something. She was older and, usually showed me how to do things. And then I remember like leaving, like after she got like I kind of set her up, like leaving and like walking through the backyard, and then sort of just like right back into that feeling of like when my dad asked me a question and like turning to look over my shoulder out the window.
I want you to just keep going from there. Okay.
Okay.
What'd you notice?
I thought about when my dad said it, like the shift from being sort of like he was punishing me. And I think in my mind, I've always had it as like a memory of like whole table was tense and angry. But then I thought about like how it was actually happening, or I'm remembering it happening. It's sort of like as soon as my dad knew it was my sister, it became sort of funny for everybody else, and, like, everyone kinda went right back to, like I remember being, like, feeling, like, just like, very angry that, like, I got humiliated, but then we just moved past, and everybody was just like, that when I think about them, like, I think anybody else in that memory probably doesn't it was actually, like, a pretty normal dinner, and I think that's probably why yeah, just, like, wanting to, I remember sort of yeah, I'm remembering sort of, like, this feeling of, like, later on, like, not even wanting to engage in, like, something funny that other people like, I was just sort of like, "I don't wanna talk to anybody here." Everybody else just sort of moved past it or were, like, joking and just having, like, normal conversation.
I want you to just keep going with this. What came up?
I was thinking about my dad's laugh. Like he has this very distinct laugh, and it was just making me really, really angry. Yeah, I started thinking about them sort of like whatever joke or I'm sure something else was said, and thinking about my sister saying something kind of like snarky, and then my dad just like the way he would laugh at it. It made me like really like want to like throw something at him.
Yeah. I want you to focus on that anger that's coming up as you imagine your dad's laughter, your sister's comment. Just focus on that anger as you watch the dot. What'd you notice?
This is like really embarrassing, but I feel like there was like a comfort. There was it felt more familiar than like when I was trying at the beginning to like picture it all. Like when I was like just I kept thinking about my dad and sort of like his laughter. And then I thought about all the times that I did sort of like unleash or like yell at him and it felt like a release, but like not good. It felt kind of like this yeah, this like but it felt very familiar. It felt like more akin I feel like kind of stopped feeling I felt more like a like an adult,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. I feel like all the I've been sort of like able to place it in that era of like my mindset, and this felt more like I don't know, I felt older.
That's what happens with EMDR. When we're processing memories, you usually start in your mind as a person that is that age.
Mhm.
And then as you continue to process your age, you start getting older. It moves further into the past. So that's
Okay.
actually a positive sign. When you think about now the memory with mowing the lawn, 0 to 10, how much is it bothering you now, however you're experiencing it?
Like, because, like, I don't know, because I'm able to feel what it was like to be on the other side, I feel like I'm like, not only was that memory bullshit, but like that behavior's bullshit.
So now, when you think about this memory, however you're experiencing it, whatever you're seeing, 0 to 10, how much is it bothering you? 0 is neutral and 10 is the highest.
Like a four.
Okay. What's keeping it at a 4 for you?
Like I'm still sort of like, this is bullshit, but I'm also like mistrusting myself or something in it.
Okay, perfect. That's what I want you to think about on this next set. What'd you notice?
I guess the first thing I was thinking about was like, am I making this, am I like, is this only my reality? And then I just sort of had a thought of like, well, it's the yeah, it's my like, but that's the only one I have. And it was sort of like it doesn't change. Like I guess I was sort of like, I don't know if it's especially because I was like sort of picturing so many things in it. I feel like different memories were coming together and saying that's where that like mistrust is coming from of like, wait, am I remembering this right? Is this like and then I just kind of had the thought of like, as I was like, the things I felt are what caused the memory. The things I felt are real. So it's, like it sort of gave me like I don't necessarily, I couldn't write the transcript of everything leading up to that, but I know that it happened to me. And that was like sort of like, it like gave, I don't know, I feel like I could like have some sort of agency on it or something.
What I want you to do on this next set is ask yourself, why am I mistrusting my recollection of this? What is causing me to second guess myself? Just ask yourself that question. What came up?
I guess I was thinking about just like not knowing. Yeah, I was like, I don't know necessarily why I can't trust it, but I was thinking about just like being wrong, because I think there have been times where I've thought something, or I've like, yeah, I was just thinking about times that I've been wrong.
Who made you feel wrong? Who trained you to second guess that part of yourself?
I think definitely my dad. I think my dad. I think just like wanting to like be right, like this feeling of like wanting to know the answer, and then like just every time that I didn't know the answer, like created like a layer of like mistrust.
What I want you to do is I want you to isolate this memory again. Being 12 years old, your sister asks to mow the lawn, what your dad said to you. However, you're experiencing that memory now, 0 to 10, how much is it bothering you, that memory?
Isolating that memory is not bothering me hardly at all.
So when you focus on this memory now and that positive statement, what you wanted to believe was, I was capable. Is that still appropriate, or is there another positive belief that works better for you with this memory?
I think it still works. I guess I'm the thing that I just thought about when you said you are capable is I was thinking about the front yard,
Huh.
like a isolating thing, but I'm like, and like you can't see it from, it was on like an entire other side of the house. I was like, it obviously my dad walked past it, like he saw it getting in the house.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know. I feel like I feel like I'm more capable, even at that time, more capable of like processing what was going on than than he was capable of assessing.
My jaw just hit the floor. What you're saying, because the front yard was the part you did, right?
Yeah.
And the backyard's the part that your sister did?
Yeah.
So when I'm asking you if the positive statement, I actually was capable, still fits, your mind is going to how capable you actually were at 12 years old.
Yeah.
And actually, why didn't the grown man who you were raised by
Uh,
notice?
yeah. Or like it's, and then it's like making me think that like not only was I keep having this like, it keeps like sort of like zooming out of like, not only was he not capable of like noticing that there was like a clear difference between those two things, or that like one was done well, but that like he never noticed when something was done well first place. And then also I'm like, he wasn't even capable of like processing, like had I actually like, put on headphones and like fucked off in the backyard, or like done some weird experiment and messed up the backyard, that like he wasn't even capable of like of like evaluating that, like being like, hey, what happened in the backyard? Like, because it's like a valid question if you're like looking out in your backyard and it looks crazy, but like the idea of like, if he was capable, being able to sort of like have that
Yeah.
conversation. I don't know.
Well, I feel like you're having a pretty huge light bulb moment right now with
Yeah.
like, welcome to EMDR.
Yeah.
You are rewiring your brain actively right now. So, what I want you to do is I want you to think about that memory with the lawn, however you're experiencing it, however you're seeing it. And on this next set, I want you to pair it with that positive statement. I was capable. Just do that as you watch the dot. What'd you notice?
Yeah, again, I don't know what this is like making me it was making me feel like another, okay, I don't want to say like a superiority thing of like
I
not.
think I think we got to find a new word
Yeah.
because it's not
Yeah.
superiority. It's I think it's realization. I think it's clarity.
Yeah, but it like it made me sort of feel like empathy. I felt a lot of empathy for my sister
Mm.
because I was sort of like, I don't like, I feel like doing this and like really being in my own head about it. I would keep thinking about like not knowing like what the other points of view were. And it, like, I was like, I'm capable of this. And then it made me feel sort of like, yeah, just like empathy for like, however, like whatever, like I was like, if whatever my dad's, his failure and what it did to me then made me sort of like think about my sister
Yeah.
of like how this did something and kind of made me feel empathy for him of like yeah being yeah just sort of like
He didn't know how to dad.
yeah.
He didn't know how.
And usually when I think back to moments like this, I think kind of like fuck him, like this is he didn't know what he was like, he was in the wrong. And now I'm thinking back to it as sort of like he probably felt as incapable, like he probably was feeling as isolated and like I don't know, like like a being lost or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not okay to be unkind to your
No,
kid,
no,
but I
yeah.
think it was his defense mechanism to the situation.
Yeah, like, I think that as a kid, like, when I think about being a kid, I think that, like, he knew he was, like, fully formed, like, he knew he wanted to do this, and he wanted me to feel this way, but it made me sort of really be like, "Oh, he didn't even know what he was doing that this was happening." You
Right.
know, like, genuine like,
Right.
I don't think he knew.
Yeah.
That's where the empathy I feel like a level or a layer of empathy or a bit of empathy
Yeah.
for him came from.
So when you think of this memory now, however you're experiencing it, how do you feel in your body?
I don't feel that in like my stomach doesn't feel tight.
Perfect.
I feel strange. I felt so embarrassed talking about it. It's something that I think about, but don't. That's not something I've never like told. Maybe I've told that story like two or three very. But so it felt, and it feels sort of like when I think about it, I don't feel like I can't say it or I can't. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know.
The shame is gone from it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
the shame is gone or, like, and it doesn't feel like it's less significant yet, but it feels like I'm and maybe I'm, like, putting too much on it because I'm having this memory is making me have this other realization of, like, I was capable then, and even it feels like I have some sort of control over it, which is, like, making me another layer of, like, feeling capable of something.
EMDR turns a traumatic situation into a historical event. Instead of your heart and your body reacting to the situation, it's now just part of the story. It's just part of your story. It's not triggering anymore. It's just like, yeah, this happened, historical event.
Yeah. That feels like or it feels like it still has that like, it's still like a block of my history,
Mm.
but it feels, yeah, like a
It's
different
less
color.
charged. I
Yeah.
mean, you came in here with that memory at a 9 on a scale of 0 to 10, and you're walking away with it at a 0.
Yeah, it feels like it's, like, not it also feels like fixed.
Okay, good.
It's pretty
So I'm gonna see you at our usual time next week. We're back to our original slot. Is that all right for you?
Yeah. Yeah, that
Okay,
sounds
cool. All right. It was good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Have a good night.
Okay, talk to you later. Bye. Session 3, Louise.
Hey, how are you? Good, I'm okay. I am I sometimes get nervous before, and I'm feeling really nervous right now for some reason.
Tell me, what are you feeling nervous about? Do you feel nervous in therapy or?
Um, no, I don't. It's not like conscious, it's just my body's feeling it. I have, it's tied to anxiety, but I have Raynaud's that's tied to my anxiety. So I get really cold, hands and feet, when I'm anxious. So I'm feeling that right now and a little
Raynaud.
shaky. Mm-hmm.
Raynaud's. Tell me about that. That's familiar.
It's like poor circulation. I one time had a panic attack and went to the ER. Like the one time that ever happened. And the doctor did tell me then that it's related. Like when you're anxious, like your blood vessels contract.
So, what do you feel nervous about therapy or doing EMDR today, or do you know what you feel
No,
about?
no. And that's the thing. Like, I don't know what it's not in my, like, I'm not consciously nervous or anything. I
Got it.
just have the bodily
Okay.
sensations.
Okay. You may start to learn some things about your physical symptoms just by processing. You may start to notice things decrease. We hold so much in our body that we just have no idea we're holding.
Mhm.
So let's just get into it.
Yeah.
We're doing EMDR today.
Cool. Yeah.
How are you feeling about trying EMDR for the first time?
I'm excited.
I'm glad you're excited. Let's get into it. Are you okay with me cooking?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So let's do this 5 to 7 years old memory.
Okay.
When you think about that memory now, today, what bothers you most about it? What do you see? What's the visual?
My first thought was just how it makes me feel now. Like, or like that I felt like I was the bad one and the wrong one in the family and like had to be dealt with separately.
Okay. And when you think I was the bad one and the wrong one in the family and had to be dealt with separately, do you see yourself on that landing crying? Do you see yourself locked in your room? Do you see your mother saying something to you?
This memory, I see myself on the landing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you laying on the landing?
Yes.
And what are you crying? What are you doing on the landing?
Like, I just remember like being splayed out, like kind of like my arms and head like going down the stairs and then my legs like up on the other stairs. Like I was just like across the landing.
When you think of yourself laying splayed out on that landing, what's the negative belief you have about yourself?
I don't know. I think of just like the attention I had to go, like I was just trying to get attention.
Is that like, I need to make a scene to get attention?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah. And like the emotions were so overwhelming that like I needed to show how overwhelming it was to I needed help. And like,
So I need to show my overwhelm in order to be helped.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you prefer to believe about yourself when you think of this memory?
It's fun. Like I didn't like being bad and being separate, but like there's also sometimes an attitude of like me being special or like being different in some way. Like, but in a positive connotation. Like I think that's how I typically try to like reframe it for myself is like, yeah, and like it's hard for me. It's frustrating for me to not when I communicate how I'm feeling for it not to be received in the way I'm trying to communicate it. But I'm also very proud. Like I don't not communicate my feelings. Like I tell someone how I feel. Like I don't ever hold it in. So I also like I'm proud of myself for not holding things in.
Yes.
Like I do value that of like expressing myself.
Right. This is a memory though where it wasn't safe to do that. You were shown that if you express yourself, you're going to get locked in a room. You're not going to be heard. So when I hear the negative belief of I need to make a scene to get attention or I need to show my overwhelm in order to be helped, I'm thinking the opposite of that is I am worthy of being accepted and heard for who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So does that sound right?
Yeah. And I think the interesting thing though is when I do look back on that memory, there's like I do kind of feel like I feel like I was in the right. Like I do feel that. Like I don't deep down feel like I was wrong. Like I feel like I was right and I'm upset that I was perceived as wrong. Like
Right.
it
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
So it's not just I am worthy of being accepted, it's I am worthy of being understood.
Yes. Yes. It's understood. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So 1 to 7, 1 is totally false, 7 is totally true. When you think about this memory, how true does it feel that you are worthy of being understood?
2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Last week when we talked about this memory on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 is totally neutral, 10 is the highest on the bothersome scale. You gave this a 9. Does it still bother you at a 9?
Yeah.
Okay, what emotion or emotions come up when you think about this memory?
I'm frustrated by it. That like this is so core and like I feel like has defined so many things in my relationships. Yeah.
Do you feel this frustration in your body anywhere?
As I just said it, I feel it like in my chest a little bit.
So I'm going to have you open up that link now of the bilaterals, and I'm going to have you full screen it. So what I want you to do is I want you to put yourself back in that memory, laying on the landing, splayed out, showing them, trying to show them this feeling like you need to make a scene to get attention. You need to show your overwhelm in order to be helped. You're just going to start. What'd you notice?
I was wondering like what my sisters were doing too, and I feel like maybe that's part of it too. Like I feel like they were like told to ignore me too. So it feels like the whole family was against me.
I want you to just follow that. What's coming up?
I think I just expected it from my parents because like I was just used to that of them like not really listening or being like because I said so. But I felt like my sisters should understand because they were in the same position. Like they were also a kid being told because I said so. So I thought I would get more understanding from them.
Okay. I want you to just keep following that. You're doing great. What's coming up?
I thought they would understand more. And I was just thinking of how like I do compare myself a lot to my sisters. And yeah, I don't think I like thought of it in that situation of like why I don't know. Like I don't think my mom like pinned us against each other. Really like I feel like my mom was pretty supportive of all of us, but I think with this thing, like I think there was a tone of like, well, your sisters are okay with like just going with the flow. Like why can't you just do that? Like I feel like there was this like, yeah, like I'm the odd one out. I'm sad, but I'm also like a little angry. Like, yeah, I think at times I've talked about this with them and like maybe at times they've been like, oh yeah, like I don't think they should have treated you like that. Like I think they've sided with me that my parents should have treated me like that, but I don't think they ever felt like they did anything. And I didn't really think they did anything until just now. So
I want you to just keep going with this. What's coming up?
I felt so much guilt for how I acted out as a kid and thinking the effect that I had on my sisters. And I think to make myself feel better, I think a lot of like, I was just a kid. Like, I excused myself of being like, I was just a kid. Like, I was learning and growing. Like, so I like try to comfort myself by like saying that. And I think just now in my head, I was thinking like, I'm kind of angry at my sisters for like not ever standing up for me. And then in my head, I'm also saying like, but they were just kids too. So like, well, how can I be mad at them?
So now what I want you to do is I want you to think about this memory again. However you're experiencing it now, however you're seeing it now, 0 to 10, how much is it bothering you?
Maybe 7. But I think it's funny because I think just my focus right now has just completely shifted off my parents into my sisters.
A lot of times with a target, it's multi-layered. And what I'm hearing right now is there is this theme of feeling isolated or treated as an outcast in your family system. And I think that you have functioned like your sisters are your allies. They're the ones in it with you. And this was a really traumatic memory where they weren't. Is that what you're feeling right now?
Yeah.
So when you think about this memory now, what do you see? What's keeping it at that 7?
I'm now a little frustrated at them instead of my parents.
I want you to just go with that. What'd you notice?
I think when I asked for something from my parents, like, I think I knew that, like, they did have authority. Like, they could just say no. Like, they didn't have to be, like, super understanding. But, yeah, like, there's that part that I felt like my sisters were, like, too scared to stand up. But then I guess I felt like, well, if they're not doing anything, they must agree with my parents, too. So then they also think that I'm wrong.
Okay, just keep going with this. What'd you notice?
So my grandma also like favored me. It was like very known, and like my family would talk about it and my sisters would talk about it. And I feel like on that end, I got kind of maybe special attention, but I still felt like the outsider. Like it was like I was different than my sisters.
Okay, so clear all this out. What I want you to do on this next set is think about how all of this is coming up around your sisters. And I want you to ask yourself how it relates to the target that we're focusing on today. Just ask yourself that question as you watch the dot. What came up?
I think just like they were really the ones that were like more so ignoring me. Like, yeah, my parents putting me in my like locking me in my room was partially ignoring me, but they also still had to deal with me. Like they reprimanded me. They still communicated with me, but like my sisters had no say in it. Like they didn't address it at all.
Okay. So when you isolate this memory we're working on again, however you're experiencing it, 0 to 10, how much does this memory alone bother you?
7, 6.
What's keeping it at a 6 for you?
Me still feeling like no one in my family like came to help me really.
I want you to just think about the memory, however you're seeing it, and think about that on this next set. What came up?
I was just thinking of this, like the image of me being on the landing, I think. And at first, when we first started with that, I'm like, actually, like, I don't feel that much emotion around that part because that was the end of it. Like, I probably felt conflict with my mom when she said no. And then she sent me to my room and then she locked me in my room. And then I remember like trying to break down, like kicking the door with my feet. Like there's so much, like all the emotion and all that was like so built up. And then I feel like by the time I was on the landing, I was like, I'm like spent. Like I'm just sad and I'm alone here and I'm just wanting help. Like all the anger had been out. So it was just, I was just displaying my sadness, I feel like. And if at that point no one was coming to help me, like that bothers me. Like,
yeah, just focus on that piece. What came up?
I thought, well, my dad like did come to me. Like, so he was the only one that would come to me. But I think that wasn't like my dad of all people wasn't the most meaningful because he was more like he wasn't the most present person in my life. So like I think he of all people like felt the least personal to come comfort me.
Right. Okay. So now when you think about this memory, clear out everything that just came up. When you think about this memory, 0 to 10, how much is it bothering you?
Maybe a 5, 4.
Okay. What's keeping it at a 5 or a 4 for you?
I think because I'm holding on to it still. I don't think it's like lost all. Yeah.
What part are you holding on to?
The memory feels more like just like it was a normal day. Like just like I think my mom just like dismissed me, but like there wasn't much anger on her end. It was just like, yeah, just like I don't want to deal with this. Like it feels very just like dismissive. Like I don't want to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
And
how do you feel about that?
I don't know, I guess like I've told her about this before. And her explanation is that she had 2 other kids to deal with. And like, so she really does remember just like not wanting to deal with it. She couldn't meet all of my needs. I don't know. Like, it just was the wrong day or like it was the wrong moment instead of like, yeah.
So I hear that this is an anchor memory for you. This has been, this has taken up real estate in your mind for so long. And that's okay. If it still needs to take up space for you, that's okay. But setting aside the fact that it's an anchor memory, whatever that means to you, if it needs to hold space in your mind, when you zoom out and look at this memory now, how much is it bothering you?
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Yeah, like a 1 or a 0 low?
Yeah, like a 1.
Okay. So now when you think about this memory in that positive statement, I am worthy of being understood. Does that still fit, or is there a different positive statement that feels better?
I don't know if this is right, but when you said that, the first thing that came to my head was that I am worthy of being considered.
So when you think about that statement now, I am worthy of being considered. How true is that for you? 1 to 7. 1 is false, 7's true.
Yeah, I'd say like a 3 because I feel like not considered a lot of the time.
Yeah. Do you think you're worthy of it though?
I don't know. I want to say yes, but like I'm just feeling negative around it. Yeah.
So I want you to think about this positive statement. I am worthy of being considered. And on this next set, I want you to ask yourself what's keeping it at a 3 instead of a 7. What came up?
I think some of just like the understanding of this memory, like I understand that they were busy. And I think I use that. I think I'm really understanding of people. And so, like, when I thought too of like, oh, my sisters said they don't call me because I'm always the first one to call them. And that's just the dynamic. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But why can't they call me? Like I understand that my mom didn't have time to deal with me. And I understand that like people have things going on in their life and people have priorities and things going on. Yeah. So I think part of it is like, why? I don't know. I understand when like I'm not the priority. Like I don't expect to be the priority for people. And like I can understand when other things come ahead of that. And those are the cases when I don't feel considered. But I understand. Yeah.
Okay. So when you think about this positive statement that you are worthy of being understood, 1 to 7, how true is that feeling now? 1 is false, 7 is true.
6, 7. I think
Okay.
it should be.
Okay. What do you think got you to a 6 or a 7 on that last set?
I think the part that like I can understand when I'm not, but I still want to be.
You're still worthy of it.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you think about this memory now, how do you feel in your body? I want you to just close your eyes and scan your body.
I was thinking of my hands because my hands aren't too cold right now, which is a sign that I'm not very anxious.
Okay. All right. It was good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
I'll see you next week at noon.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Talk to you
Bye.
later. The Fabric of Being is a production of the LA Therapy Alliance. If you're interested in receiving EMDR or therapy services, you can visit us at www.latherapyalliance.com or email hello@latherapyalliance.com. If you or someone you know is having a difficult time, please know that you don't have to go through it alone. If you are in need of immediate assistance, here are some phone numbers that you can call or text to speak with someone free of charge. Call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. Call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-7233, or you can text the word BEGIN to 88788. Again, that's the word BEGIN to 88788. If you prefer LGBTQ plus specialized support, please call the Trevor Project Lifeline at 866-488-7386 or text the word START to 678-678. Again, that's the word START to 678-678. Thank you for listening and for being here. You're so worth it.